On September 11th, 2001, we lived in the greatest country in the world. And on this day, September the 11th, 2010, we live in the greatest country in the world. It was a bright day. General, it was reminiscent of today. As I understand the weather reports, as we heard in the aftermath, the sun was shining all across America. Seemed like it couldn't be a better morning. All of us, wherever we might have lived, rose with great expectation and the joy of a wonderful fall day. You may have been enlisted, engaged in the Texas Air National Guard, or you may have been civilians. Family members were with great expectancy for children who were going off to school. Doing your job, serving your nation. Members of the United States Congress had begun to gather in the halls of Congress. The Senate opened its chambers, the House opened its chambers. Business as usual. But the destiny of this nation has never been business as usual. Who would have ever thought that 13 little colonies could have stood up to then the most powerful nation in the world? A nation that dominated most of the world during those early 16 and 1700s. The power of Great Britain was without comparison. Most around that world at that time feared them, more so than honored them. And I love my friends in Great Britain, but the history speaks to how they carried a mighty big stick. Yet the founding fathers had a better idea about this country to be called America, the United States of America. They felt that all men and women should be created equal. Though there were some bumps in the road, basic values of those men who wrote the Constitution in Philadelphia embrace the values that those of you who sit today had predecessors who fought and died for. Blood has been shed for the values of this nation. Blood has been shed for the flags that stand behind me. Men and women have lost their lives. Some have been made and have come home to their valiant families. But never would we have imagined in this wonderful, beautiful nation, surrounded by vast oceans, that we'd ever face what many of our friends around the world have faced in years past. This thing called terrorism, the taking of innocent lives, where many of you would have wished to have stood in the way of those planes, if you could have. If notice had been given to us, if a post had been posted to us, if an email had come, many of you would have rushed to that area and sacrificed your own lives. That is what you do. But no notice was given. No email. No fax. No telephone. No one was aware of that bright and shining day. The lives of Americans, General, would have been altered. I would imagine that a country whose values were weak and not embedded in our souls could have completely fallen on that day. For as I said, the surprise was hideous and horrific. It was not one that we cherished and relished. It was where everybody could not even express, and words like the awe, the horrificness, the hideousness could not even capture what happened. As I said in an office in the United States Capitol, speaking about issues that seemed to be of relevance, the people in New York had already felt the horror of planes hitting the World Trade Center. News reporters, if anyone saw the beginning of their remarks, could not even capture what was happening. Some of you may be reminded that some were saying a small plane had hit the World Trade. They couldn't really see it. Others were still so struck that they could not capture and articulate what happened on that day. Again, I remind you what it would have been like if we had gotten any kind of notice. All who wear the uniform would have rushed to that place to save lives. As we in the United States Congress are getting the word, albeit unbelievable, many did not understand completely what was being said. And I will tell you with some humor, there was pushback because, as you well know, in the Congress, work is always more important, their work. So as the word was coming, they were pushing back. We're working. Till someone said, I don't know what is going on, but this nation is under attack, and you better get out. By that time, our friends and loved ones and nationals from places around the world were already crumbling in New York. As we ran from the halls of Congress, we could see the black smoke rising from the Pentagon. Words were going and they were flying above our heads with words like they were going to the White House. The State Department was under attack. Run. Doesn't seem the right thing to do. As we watched the smoke of the Pentagon and heard of planes flying above. At that time, we couldn't count the many heroes and sheroes that would come to light. Those in the Pentagon, and those heroic souls who took that plane to Pennsylvania, plane destined for the center of the capital of the United States. From that time, in the 147th, 1,000 have come and gone into Afghanistan and Iraq. Willing souls took up the cause of freedom. Yet, as we come today to be reminded of our hometown heroes, we embrace our families and moms and dads and wives, brothers and sisters, and yes, our children. We embrace them not only because it is the right thing to do, but because we're a nation of values. And as we have seen some tumultuous times over these last couple of days, actions chosen by others that maybe we do not affirm, we still can see the values shining through our flags and brightly expressed in our minds and our hearts. No matter what walk of life we have come from, how many differences we may have, what the politics of the day is, America stands as one and will never be divided. The respect and honor of those who fell on that day, and the stories that each of you could tell and each of our family members could tell about where they were on 9/11. General, I think this is a very special day, and I'm excited about the morality and the leadership and the open doors of the 147th. That no man or woman who wears a uniform under this leadership would have any doubt of their ability to rise up and be recognized. That is the standard of the United States military wherever they are. So I'm honored to be able to be here today, but honor sometimes seems not even a high enough word to say. But when blood is shed so that freedom might ring, then there is more to what we offer to you than simply honor. But as I salute you on behalf of the American people, let it be very clear that when we leave these shores, wars that divide or wars that bring us all together, there is no divide in the fact that we recognize the sacrifice that each and every one of you continue to make. 9/11, this special day, should always have a place We should always be able to tell the story to our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren. It is a story embedded in the fabric, in the soil of this nation. So we challenge you today to have a wonderful time. Yes, on this day of sacrifice. That we embrace and that we live and that we continue so that freedom rings. This is a nation of the home of the free and the brave. And it is one that can sing the national anthem with a continuing pride. Not one of arrogance, but simply one of recognition that throughout the ages, Americans have always been willing to stand, to rise and to run toward those who are in need. For that reason, I come today to embrace each and every one of you. We have the President, Congress, and most importantly, the bosses, the American people. Thank you for the service that you have given. May the reflections that I've given today simply add to the specialness of this day, not because of anything that I might have offered, but because we have come to be able to acknowledge, to salute and praise those who serve this flag in God's name. For in God we trust, and the nation we love. We will never leave her. We will always stand by her. In the amazing grace of the Almighty God, we will be the warriors for justice and freedom. It is this morning that I have the privilege, my own humble way, to salute you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.